So boys and girls, you have a new lesson up on the board called
Point of View.
And it's telling you what you're going to learn. What does it say?
Read with appropriate voice to show how a character feels.
Explain how you know. So that's to give you an idea of what your goal is. I'm going to explain further what your goal is with this fun video, which you can get up and move to. I don't have a problem with that, but I don't want you to lose focus of what the singer is singing. The words are also going to be projected up here, so even if you stand up and move to the beat, that's fine, but pay attention because all that you just read, it's going to be explained in the video. Ready? I don't think so. This is what I need. So go ahead and stand up. Let's see how it looks. It's called Point of View on That Beat. Where is it? It's taking its time. Thank you for being patient. Yes. Yeah, if you don't want to stand. Okay. Here we go.
So what we're going to learn about today is point of view.
Maybe
Point of
something
view
like that.
is how somebody feels about something. An event that happened to them, things like that. So if you listen to these verses, you'll hear 3 different ways to identify the point of view. Point of view can be found in multiple manners, like the way a character behaves, showing bad manners. If he throws his bottle down after losing the match, we can tell that he's upset and he's feeling like trash. What's the point of view? Okay, what's it mean to you? Huh? What do they do that shows their point of view? I don't know. Slide, drop, okay. And when you hit that stop, what do? Don't give up, man. Don't give up, eh? If our story has pictures, we can use those too. We can read people's faces to see what they'll do. If I see the sounding smile
over
when
here,
she's
boys.
eating some fries, I know that she is happy from the look in her eyes, man. What's the point of view? You. What's it mean to you? You. What do they do that shows their point of view? Now slide and drop them, and when you hit that stop, don't give up, man. Don't give up, okay? Point of view on that beat, Point of view on that beat. Now what? Point of view on that, point of view on that, point of view on that beat. Now how they feel, how they feel, how they feel, how they feel. You smart. You're your teacher student. Sometimes point of view is given to you. The words in the text tell you what to do. So if the words say he's upset, then look, there you have it. Don't even sweat. What's the point of view? What's it mean to you? What do they do that shows their point of view? Slide and drop. And when you hit that stop, man, don't give up, okay? Don't give up, okay?
The video is done, but our lesson has just started. So, ignore that. And yes, flick the lights on, please. So, who can share? Do you have a better understanding of what point of view is after seeing that video?
Yes!
What did you learn about it that you didn't know before? Adam. Point of view, you don't want to give up when you're trying to figure it out, but what is point of view, Lucas?
Point of view is like you can find out how the character is expressing itself.
Right. And the story I read earlier, we were using a lot of expression. What I'm going to do here for you is I'm going to show you when you're reading how all of these things can work to help you find the character's point of view. Because when you know how the character feels in a story, it helps you understand the story better, okay? So for this lesson, you're going to be asked to read with expression that demonstrates if a character's feeling a certain way. I could tell by your voice. You're going to also be expected to use the correct vocabulary, just like you did on that little mini test yesterday. Remember when I read bubbles to you? I loved reading your papers and those pictures that you showed me. You used words like what? Let's go over them again. Jealous, proud, excited, happy, angry. So not only do you have to produce the words using the right tone of voice, you have to be able to explain your tone of voice with vocabulary like that. Okay, so here's how your lesson's gonna go. I'm going to read just like what I'm gonna call you to do. And while you're listening to my reading, I want you to give me a thumbs up if what you're hearing as I read seems like it's something positive or happy or good. If what you hear me say is not so good, negative feelings, something bad, angry, mean, thumbs down. If you can't really tell if it's good or bad, you're not really sure, your thumb can go sideways. I'm wondering why this is not projecting. Oh, there we go. No, we're just gonna, there it is. Okay, so do you know how you're gonna follow along?
Yeah.
You're listening right now, you're not doing any reading, but you are listening to me read, and I'll know you're paying attention because you're signaling thumbs up for good, thumbs down for negative things that you're hearing. If you're not quite sure, thumbs sideways. Okay, so what I have for you is part of a play, and there are 3 characters. So as I read, I've got the characters named right here, just so that you know there's 3 different people talking. What do you notice about the images?
They're different colors. They're posed.
They are posed. What do you notice about their faces?
They're different colors. They don't have a head. They don't have a face.
Yes, you have to figure out what expression would be appropriate for each based on the words you hear and the expression I use when I'm talking for each character, okay? So here we go. The setting. This is where the story takes place. It is a city square filled with wrecked carnival stalls. It has been blocked off. Alice, Fraser, and Drew are on stage, and they are looking beyond caution tape. If you don't know what caution tape is, you might see this someplace. It means stay out because it's a dangerous place. You should not go there.
We've seen it on the playground.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't go there because the equipment is broken or something like that. So these characters walk up, they see the caution tape, all the carnival stuff is wrecked. Here we go. Alice is talking first. All that practicing for nothing. The storm has wrecked the carnival. Now there will be a talent show. Fraser. Maybe they'll hold the talent show somewhere else. Drew. How about holding it in the school auditorium? Fraser. I'm not giving up. I can juggle anywhere. Look. Drew. That's cool, Fraser. What are you juggling? Fraser. I'm using socks rolled into balls. Drew. Are you going to tap dance again, Alice? Whoops, wrong card. Yes, but I don't want to dance on the school stage. It echoes and I sound like a horse stamping its feet. That storm has just ruined my chances of winning. So, oh my goodness. So, okay, I saw you guys engaged and it seemed like you were detecting the right kind of mood for each character. But let me ask you some questions, because when you do this in your groups, you'll be reading a passage too. And then one of the things that you have to do is talk about the characters, because just because you can say, oh, I know that character is feeling happy or sad or whatever, you have to provide text evidence. How do you know? What words were spoken that gave it away? Or what pictures? You weren't really provided with pictures for this, but what actions? How were the characters behaving? That tells you they're happy or sad or angry. So when you have your little conversations, you can ask each other questions like, how does Alice think about what has happened? What does she think about it? And with my partner, I'm gonna pretend you're my partner at my table, I might share, well, I heard her say that it was ruined. She practiced for nothing. What do you think about it when she said stuff like that?
I don't think it's a good thing.
Is she a positive character? Because she's not looking on the bright side of things, huh? She's all negative, good word. So negative could be added to your list of vocabulary words. Sometimes people are negative. How about Frasier? So partner, because you guys are gonna be having discussions like this, you're gonna have questions like this to help guide your conversation. How does Frasier think and feel about what has happened? Well, let's go back to what Frasier said. Maybe they'll hold the talent show somewhere else. What else do you remember Frasier saying?
That like we could play in a lot of different places.
Yeah, I could juggle anywhere. Is he not going to be stopped?
No.
He is not going to be stopped. He's like, I don't care if the stage is wrecked. Give me another place to juggle and I'll show you what I got. So he's a more what kind of character?
Positive.
Positive, yes. Now what about Drew?
He's
Was he positive too, Isla? I think so.
Yes.
Why do you call him a positive character?
because he wasn't being like Alice.
He was not acting like Alice at all, huh? He was trying to be more positive about the situation. So see how talking about what you heard them say kind of helps you? Was I using the correct voice for the characters? What happened to my voice when I read for Alice? What happened to my voice? I used a grumpy voice because she was so negative. So I tried to convey that, like just making a bratty kind of voice, grumpy. And then how about Frasier? Did my voice change or stay the same when I spoke for Frasier? What happened? Thank you for raising your hand.
He didn't act like Alice.
But what about the voice I used when I was playing his part? How did I change my voice? Could you imagine if I was talking for Frasier and I said, maybe they'll hold a talent show somewhere else? Does that match?
No.
How about maybe they'll hold the talent show somewhere else? Does that match?
Yeah.
He's more optimistic, right? He's what?
He's like thinking on the other side of things.
Looking on the bright side of things instead of being so negative. Okay, good job. So what we just did right now is what you're gonna do. You're gonna be practicing with me with another little play, and we're gonna also end with having a little conversation in our groups, just like we did. But just to give you an idea of the different kinds of voices, depending on what's happening in the story, I might use, and you can repeat after me, a loud voice.
A loud voice.
A yelling voice.
A yelling voice.
A whisper voice. A shaky voice.
A shaky voice.
A sweet voice.
A sweet voice.
An aggressive voice.
An aggressive voice.
So those are not all of them, but some of them that will convey how a character feels. So you're gonna get your own paper, and on the back are the questions. So right now just look at the front side. Read for each table. Read for each table. Yes, ma'am. All right, good job, boys and girls, for staying seated, quiet, ready to start reading at the same time, right? Okay. So you should be on the side that has the play. We're going to practice reading it as a whole group. Okay? And remember, when we read as a whole group, we want to sound like one nice reading voice. And if you're not sure what kind of voice to use, follow my lead. Okay? says read a part from a play. What are we reading first? We have to read these little describing words off to the side first. Setting. Lunch in the school cafeteria. Tyrone, Jesse, and Natasha turn to one another to discuss the school's new healthful menu. A menu, you just had that as a word, is a list of foods to choose from, right? At this school that these kids go to, they get to choose from a menu. And they've changed the menu to be healthy foods, good foods. How many of you would be happy with that? A healthy menu? How many of you would prefer a junk food menu? Oh. Okay, well, at this school, they've changed the menu for healthful foods. Let's start reading our play. Who's the first speaker? Tyrone. I see an exclamation point, so that already alerts me how to use my voice. Ready? Let's go. This is a big problem. I'm going to chess club after school. You need to think clearly to play chess. I need brain food. Jesse, you think that's a problem? I've got tryouts for the swim team this afternoon. I need a big pizza. Natasha, probably because a big pizza, he's gonna need a lot of food because he's gonna use a lot of those calories up. Jesse, he's gonna exercise a lot because when he goes to the swim practice, you wanna make sure that you have energy and food gives you energy. So he wants a big what?
Pizza.
Natasha, what does she say? You'll make it, Jesse. Jesse, I hope so, but I want to do my best. I want to feel my best. I need food that keeps me going. Natasha, we have a different speaker. Maybe this food will be all right. We should just try some. Tyrone, I don't think so. I want my usual lunch of nachos. If there are no more nachos, I'll have to change schools. If you flip your paper over, you have 3 guiding questions, okay? We're not gonna answer them just yet, but I want you to keep these in mind because now you're gonna practice reading each part in the group, and I want you to think, how do Tyrone and Jesse feel about the new menu? How does Natasha feel about the new menu? Use your voice to show how Tyrone and Jesse feel. So since there are 3 characters and you are in groups of 3s, you're gonna get a few minutes to reread the play, and I'm gonna walk around and listen to see my actors, you guys are actors, are you using the correct voice for each character? So you have 30 seconds to decide who's gonna play who. Ready, set, choose. And your voices that you use just need to be heard amongst each other at your table, okay? You're gonna go ahead and start reading, and I'm gonna walk around and listen. Okay. I heard some great expression, especially over there at table 2. You should go into theater. So, okay, now at your tables, we have those discussion questions. Turn your paper over so that you're looking at problem 1. And read the question with me. How do Tyrone and Jessie feel about the new menu? How do they feel? Who wants to share out? Rayleigh, did you guys even talk about it yet? Or did you just do the reading? You just did the reading? Let me give everybody a minute so that you can answer that in your groups before you share it with me. How do Tyrone and Jessie feel about the new menu? What does Jesse say? What does he do? In your discussions, one of the things that you should be considering is, well, you didn't have pictures, right? So you can't go with this. This is not going to tell you. You could not see Tyrone or Jessie's expression, right? You couldn't see them go, or you don't know based on pictures. Could you look at, well, you're not really looking, but listen for how they are behaving? Or were there certain words that told you how they were feeling?
Yeah, there were. Like, when Simon was speaking, this is a big problem with an exclamation point. And
Problem right off the bat. He's complaining, huh? Could you give me a facial expression that would match that?
this is a big problem.
Her eyes got cross, yes. So right there, she's already there for the goal. Table 6. Did you see? She already demonstrated everything. She read with expression. She pointed to the text evidence, the word problem, clued her in on how to describe Tyrone. Did you give me the describing word?
Yeah.
How would you describe him? That's the text evidence. So how would you describe, how does that character think or feel? What's their attitude?
Very, like, angry and, like,
Not going to go with the flow of this new. He's very resistant. He's angry about the change in the menu. Okay, you boys are going to be clipped down, just so you know. How about the next question? How does Natasha feel about the new menu? Heads together. How does Natasha feel? Find text evidence. Different things I'm going to call on this table right here. We're talking about Natasha now. How does Natasha feel? Right here.
Positive, and she wants to try the new menu out.
Yeah. And our voice, could you reread one of her lines? Am I going to say, "You'll make it, Jessie"?
No.
How would you change? And look at your face, all bright and cheery. Okay, so put your hands on top. Put your hands on your shoulders. Fold your hands, put your eyes on me so you know what's happening. That was your practice, your independent practice. Like I told you, you will be able to select a passage of your own, and you're going to be asked to fill in this graphic organizer or this sentence frame. I used a blank voice for the character blank because I know this character is feeling blank. That feeling word will go there. I know the character feels this way because that's where you give me your text evidence. Okay? The other thing that you'll get to do, and that's what this is for, all this down here is for me. It's me grading you. If you want to, you have to read with expression that matches how the character feels. And you also have to be able to give me that text evidence, use the correct vocabulary. And there is this really cool app. If you have like an, what is it, iPad or an iPhone, raise your hand if you've ever heard of sock puppets. You can record your voice and you can be, and I can't show you because my phone is busy recording this. I will be showing you, and that is how you can record your reading and share it with me instead of sitting down reading one-on-one. So what did we learn before I sign off here? What did we learn? What is this all about? What's that? What's it mean to? Read with expression, right? Good job.